Alright, we've got a skill page tier list. We're going to be doing only the ones in season 1 because I already have one for up to season 5. Or I think season 6, I'm not sure. I'll link that one in the description if you want to see the future good skill pages. But for right now, I'm going to talk about mainly right now, just season 1, including the Midnight Sun. Nothing else, no season 2, even if it's close. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll include it. Yeah, I'll include it, I guess. Just season 2, nothing further, because we don't know what's coming on the 23rd. So it was leaked. I guess I'll put that video too if you want to see what exactly was leaked, but it was just like the dates and some other stuff. So I'll put those 2 videos in the description or the comments, probably the description. And yeah, so how we're ranking this is really just usability. I have all of these tiers, so basically SS on everyone. There's no really SS for just unique, but then we have for unique and then everyone. Unique is mainly just if we're talking primarily about, let me delete this, I don't know what's there. Primarily just about this part. Okay, this part here is the unique, so it adds stuff to the skill, to one of the skills. It could be skill 1, 2, or ultimate. Then this is going to be if it falls under everyone, and of course if it's good for if they have a good passive and a good thing here, then it's going to be in everyone, right? Now skill pages, you are able to get all the what's it called, unfeatured base standard units for free, and all of these skill pages on the bottom for free. The standard skill pages you could get from Memory Hall, and then the top ones you could get once a month. The unfeatured, not the unfeatured, the standard, you could get the standard SSR skill pages from what's it called, the trade in shop. You trade in at Gordon, and then you get your materials. You have to trade in SR or higher. Then you go to the exchange shop, you go to the bottom tab, I think, and then you're going to be able to choose an SSR selector. So that's all good. I included the SRs and the rares that I think are good, or like usable at the very least. Usable. Okay, usable is the word. If there's other ones, then I'll include it down below. If people see any or believe in any that they think is good, I'll include it down below. Now, I'm not making a new tier list specifically for global, so obviously I'm going to have some left over. Like you can see Noel, Julius, Langris, right? So all that stuff. I'm going to start with the, what would I call them? The non-unique. I guess I'll call them non-unique skill pages, and then the unique skill pages. All right. So I like going from top to bottom. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. Now, starting off, obviously this one is very good. What it does, I'll pull them up for only some, and some I don't really remember, so that's another thing. So this one gives all attack, 10% magic attack and attack up to 20%, and it's free, which does add a little tinge of extra value to it, right? So that one is very, very good. Now, going on to S, we've got this one. And why this one is in SS is because supports could use it, attackers could use it, right? Anyone who needs magic attack or attack can use it. So Rades, Mimosa, right? All the Mimosas, then a bunch of DPS, right, will be able to take profit of this, and it's not just DPS. Then obviously, and last thing I guess, like if we're saying like it's A, right? If we're saying this is A on everyone, it means A on all DPSs, okay? Just to make that clear, because you can't use it on other roles for the unique skill pages, okay? Just to put that out there. Now, this one is very good. It increases damage by 7 to 12%, which is just a very universal thing that you could have on anyone. Now, why this is higher is because it also is for skill. It's also for people that aren't just DPSs, where this is primarily just DPS. So that's my reasoning. Now this one is very good. HP could be used on almost everyone for tanking, or also for healers like Kahono and Charmy, future Charmy, right, that are going to be healing with HP, and Witch Queen, even though she kind of sucks. Maybe with Black Asta she'll be crazy. So HP 10% up to 20 goes there. And then this one too, because it gives boss damage increase, which is a very strong thing to have. I think it's 12 to 24%. Yeah, so that increased damage amount is kind of nuts and is very good when you're fighting bosses. Now, these two are both stuns, right? Basically stun blocks, so you could block stuns with these 2 skill pages. If we go here, so grants immunity to stun, or status on with immunity, and gives HP recovery if you get stunned. And then same thing here on the SSR one, if I could find it. So status change immunity, and then 7% HP recovery up to God knows what. But anyway, you heal if you get stunned, and you have a 1-turn stun block. So 1-turn stun block is good for like healers primarily, and people who want to use their ult to protect, like Rades. So yeah, you're gonna see this a lot on Rades, and I do recommend putting it on Rades because it's just that good. Now this one too can also be good. I'd say it's A, not S, because it's really limited to only like defender. Like if we're counting these, you have to really work on a lot of people. But the defense one, I think is decent. I still rather the HP just because it actually helps like the healer scale. But this one is very good, right? It's going to be giving. Oh, I have to. It's very hard to find some of these, especially with how many we are getting to. I wish we could sort by only the non-unique ones, but increased defense and the increased healing is actually like really good. Very solid A rank. A rank is still very usable, so you know that's basically it. Like you're still gonna run it. I don't think you're not gonna run it. A ranks are still like high, but S is just that extra little tinge that I like. That gives me that gut feeling that I should put it there. Now this one I have in B. If I'm gonna be honest, I made it a while ago, but yeah, okay. It could be useful because of barrier meta, getting rid of barriers. But besides that, giving extra damage when there's barriers is not really that good. So yeah. And then we've got the last 4 that are going to be going in D tier. So we got this one, this one, this one, and this one. So let's pull them all up if I could find them. So I think this, where are the other 2? This, and then I forgot one. Which one? The purple one? The purple one. Here it is. So this one is going to be giving DLT immunity, which is kind of not that good. You won't ever find a use for this. It kind of like just limits you, I feel. You could do better than this. Now this one has a chance to remove a debuff when you take damage, and it's not even that high, so I don't really know. Then this one you have a chance to remove silence and total silence. If it was guaranteed like block, it could have been okay, but there's not even many silence units. Like the only time you would use this is maybe right now against Blue Yami, but that's it. And then this one giving an HP recovery at the start of each turn. You have a chance, so that's the problem. You have a chance to get the HP recovery. I don't really think that's that good. If it was a guaranteed chance, then it would have been better, but if not, I'll put it in C tier. We'll put it in C tier. I think there's a like very small chance that you could actually use it. So that's it for the non-unique skill pages up to season 1. Obviously the only one they've added has been this one and one of the SRs in season 3, and we're on season 7 now. Jesus Christ, we're on season 7. Holy shit, it's weird. Okay, let's go on. Now we start to go back up, and we're going to start with Asta. So Asta's is just universally very good. It's going to be giving crit damage from 12 up to 24% for every single DPS. It's probably one of the best in slots, especially for someone like Kyato, Julius, right? Asta, obviously, because it's his. You could even run this with Noelle, but I wouldn't really recommend it because usually you want to build full stats with her, like magic attack stats. And then obviously you could run this with who else? I feel like I'm missing people. But now that we're in Burn, there's a lot of people who just want full-on stats. But someone like Langris could definitely use it. Yami, obviously. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, let's go here. So, yeah, there's people like that. But mainly, like, Julius and Kyato definitely take good advantage of it. Jack, right, Licht, Asta. And we are going to get Black Asta, and I'm more than sure it's going to be very good on him. So, yeah, just crit damage, you could use it on pretty much every single DPS. And like this one, this does the exact same thing. So, we're going to apply it onto the top tier. All attack 10%, magic attack 10%, attack 10%. Just being able to help pretty much every single DPS. Obviously it's more limited, but it's still very good on every single DPS, and these two are probably the most universal ones that you will see on every single build for a unit from me and from other people. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty fair to give them that rank. And then this one, where is it? Let me just make sure I'm reading this one right. But oh yeah, no, this one definitely on everyone, on every single DPS, this one's insane. So you're going to be applying 4 to 8% damage reduction when you take damage, up to 4 times. So you get 16 up to 32% damage reduction, which at max dupe, which you're going to be able over time though, is going to be a whole William ult after you take damage. William ult gives 34%, this gives 32 at max dupe. It's really strong, and it does add the increased defense on here on the skill 1, which means you could like infinitely buff his defense. So it is also very good on him. So that is very nice. So now we start getting to, wow, my back hurts. Jesus Christ. We're going to get to the S units on everyone. So we're going to start off with Licht. We'll say Licht. I think that's how they say it in the English dub. Licht. I'll try to force myself to say Licht. Licht sounds better, but like Licht. I'll go for Licht. Alright, so he gets attack and crit rate on this. Really good. Kind of sucks for Kyato, but it's very good for like Asta. If we go to the character stats and we go here, it's good for Asta, Yami, Jack, Raya, Yami, and Jack. So, and obviously it's going to be good for the new Black Asta that's going to be coming out. So that is one of the things for sure, pretty good. Then Leopold's surprisingly also very good. You wouldn't really think so, but it gives damage depending on magic attack and attack, or just all attack depending on current HP. So from 15 to 30%, it's 10% higher at max, 5% at base, higher than these two. So that is very good. If you apply barrier, to be fair, you're always going to be at 100%, at least for the beginning. So you're basically just profiting extra from nothing, and I think that is a very strong thing to be able to do. Next up, we're going to put Rills, if I could find Rills. There's still a lot of these, so it's kind of hard to... here it is. Rill puts increased or reduced defense on the enemies. It's AoE, right? For debuffers, it is very strong. So it's going to be having a 60% chance to apply 10 to 20% defense reduction. And then on his, it's going to be removing, for each remove buffed, you inflict 20% increased damage taken from the enemies, which could go up to like 60%. Isn't that insane? Like, you're applying the defense, then you're applying incapacitate, plus you have a chance to remove the buffs. And then you have the increased, reduced defense there. So, very good. Rill is top tier. Then Sally, Rill's skill page at least. Sally has one of the best skill pages in the game. I think it's top 5. Yeah, top 5 SSRs maybe. Because increased damage one is just so crazy too. But it gives all attack on the skill 2. And a lot of buffers, supporters, have a buff skill 2. Charlotte gives SP. She gives all attack. He gives all attack. She gives magic attack. He gives attack. So the all attack also does stack with other all attacks because of the fact it's worded differently. So it's just a free 10 up to 20% all attack that you could get, which is huge. Solid. 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 Where's Solid? Could you tell me where Solid is? Holy shit, my eyes. Y'all are probably like, oh, there he is. Okay, this gives crit rate, flat crit rate, so that's one of the things that Red Yami doesn't have, but Red Yami's is still good as it ends up giving more by the end. And this one's free. They're both free, technically, SR and then an SSR that's free, so that's cool. Both for crit rate. His is over 5 ally turns, so you get it after 5 turns, but him it's right away, so it really depends on what type of playstyle. If you're ulting right away, maybe use solids. If not, Yami's is totally fine and will give you more by the end, so there's that to consider. Oh wow, I didn't even have Yami's skill page on the original tier list, but I do consider it S, especially for Yami himself. It does give him extra crit damage, so overall that's very good. Actually, I did have it on the tier list. Would I say it's S? I feel like it is. I do feel like it is. The crit rate is actually very nice, and it's just an overall decent option on everyone, right? It's like low of the end S, but still very good. Now Lotus's, you might think it's like bad because it's only 2% speed reduction, but you have to realize the way the game works. Stamina is filled up depending on your speed at the moment on every turn. So like, let's say someone attacks, then after the minute from that point that you attack to the person's next turn, your stamina gauge, your mobility gauge is going to be filled up depending on your speed. So if your speed is even 1 less than the enemies, but you started off at the same, the enemy is going to be higher. Simple as that. That's why you have to realize this 2% is way stronger than it actually does seem. So yeah, Lotus's goes in S tier, pretty good. Charlotte's applies increase, it gives her an increased defense reduction level. So, where is it? Here. It's going from 2 to 3, right? Which is also very good. And then it's also going to be applying increased crit res, or decreased crit res, I guess. I keep on saying increase, but decreased crit res by 10% reduced. So that's basically 10% more chance to crit. In a way, that's just, imagine like Finral gave you a 10% crit rate buff. So yeah, that's nice. Next up, we got Radis. Would I even consider it there? Would I? Yeah, I think I would, because it gives the damage resistance, which is very strong. In terms of making sure that you're going to be tanking across the penetration, so it's going to be reducing your damage taken even more. And the barrier is also pretty decent, you can't lie. Just like having extra HP, why it's annoying is that Radis already is pretty tanky because he's a tank, obviously, or just a defender, not really a tank, but he's a defender. And him having this extra thing makes it so that you cannot one tap him with like Red Asta, or in the future also like Red Magna and all that. So like that's why that barrier can sometimes end up being annoying. Now next up, where is it? Mimosa. Let me try to find Mimosa. It's very hard. Here she is. Why it's good is that it increases the turn buff. So basically, wrong one. Basically, instead of being only 1 turn, the buff duration, extended buff duration, it's 2 turns. Very strong. Very strong. You can't go wrong with this. And then also it does have a chance to remove debuffs, which is decent. But it's really just this. It really is just this, right? Extending buff duration by 2 turns. Bringing a buff from 1 turn to 3 turns, before, like higher than it initially was, is just insane. And it's very strong overall. Then funerals, I guess I could also put Valtos too. I don't know why I didn't do that on my side of the tier list. But funerals and Valtos are basically 2 sides of the same coin. This one increases stamina on skill 2, and this one increases stamina on the ult. Actually, no. This one's worse. Reason why is because when you're using it on the ult, you're already going up to 100% stamina. I think, no, technically it would be after. It would give you the stamina after. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So those 2 are both in A tier on everyone. At least for supporters, because you can use it on anyone, and if their skill 2 is better, then you use it on the skill 2, in which case it's going to has a chance to increase their stamina. And then for Valtos, it's going to be increasing stamina on ult guaranteed, which is very good. Let me try it. I'm telling you guys, I know y'all are like, Gikku, it's right there. No, it isn't. They're popping in last second. They're popping in last second. I'm telling you, they're not there. Okay, now actually Funeral would go here, and then Valtos would go on A on it, everyone, because of the fact that Funeral gets a chance to increase mobility on his skill page, which is super strong, and it's only good for him, obviously. So definitely it goes S on Unique Mage for sure. I would agree with that personally. And obviously we put Valtos in A, so we're starting the A ranks, and let's continue. Good thing I'm not doing this timestamps by rank, because Jesus Christ. A on Unique Mage, A on everyone, S, too many tiers. Too many tiers. So, we already have the non-unique ones, so let's start. We have Valtos, obviously, right? And then we're going to put Charmies. Let's go in order from what I have. We're going to put Charmies later, but we'll put Sister Lilies. It does increase her healing, and that is decent, right? So you could basically just start healing more. Actually, no, it's in B. It only heals herself. So I don't really like those where they only heal yourself. It's not that good. But Charmies for sure is. It gives increased HP by, where is it? 7 up to 15% max HP. Very strong. It's going to be good on Season 2 Charmy. So you really just can't go wrong with that one if you have nothing else. Now this one is a mini version of the other ones, but technically just the same, where it gives 10% all attack and max stoop. And since it's a rare skill page, you could for sure use it. No problem. But this is 20% on max stoop, so you got to consider this is half, but you also got to realize that you're going to get these max stoop, so it's going to be basically the same thing as a rare. Now let's include Fuegoleon. Fuego. Why his is good is it's very similar to Leopold's, in where it's going to be giving increased damage when your HP is equal to or higher than 50%, which is almost better than Leo's in a way. But the increased 12% damage is low-key like really fire. But if you get it max stoop, I think this one could be, it could fuck. Like honestly, it could be good. It could be really good. So yeah, definitely I think that it's probably the best case for you to end up using it. So that's it for the A on everyone, and then on Unique Mage, it's only this one. Whoops, it's only this one. Reason being, let's go to her. Oh my bad, that's SSR. Reason being, it's going to be adding the barrier with thing on the ult, where basically if they reach max HP, she gives a barrier, which to me personally is very strong. And then obviously with the skill 2, it's going to be increasing magic attack, which is going to be increasing the healing, which is going to be increasing the chance of getting this last part of the thing, which is going to give the barriers. So yeah, A on Unique Mage, not really too good on anyone else. Sister Teresia has the same part as Sister Lily, which increases HP recovery on the person that you have it on, so not really that good. Now, ooh, wait, let me just make sure I'm not tripping. Yeah, if we're saying this is A, then this is for sure B. This has to be B. It does increase defense and max HP, but obviously the other one's better. 4 times the defense, or a bit more than twice, like 2.5 times the defense at max duped, so definitely better. But Seke is solid B, right? Now we're gonna put Charmies here. This one is actually pretty good. If we, you know, that's the thing. I'm not putting timestamps because obviously I go back and forth on some decisions because it's very hard to tell sometimes. This one's a bit tough. I might put it in A tier. But no, those A tiers are way better. Yeah, B tier goes. B tier goes. It provides the crit damage resistance by level 3, which I think is 35%, which means you're going to be taking less damage from it. But still, on the blue team, you're not really going to be getting crit much, especially if you're against the wells. So, to me, I don't think it's like that crazy, but it's still good. Usually, this team doesn't get crit much, especially when we get to later on seasons. So, yeah. Then, Williams could give stun block, but that's all it gives. It does give a heal, but I don't really think it's a good heal. Blue Yami's, it's not really that good, but it's like good for PvE, but it's not really that good. So, you know, it's kind of just there. I don't know. Like, you get sometimes XP. That's basically it. You could get a damage increase if you remove a debuff, which doesn't really go well in PvE. But then the other part of his thing, which increases the SP by a chance to increase SP every time you attack, is for PvE. So I don't know, not really that crazy. And my eyes. Now, I do want to talk about Ghostes in the wells right now before I end up forgetting or something like that. So Ghostes, where's Ghost? Basically, he's gonna be doing a DLT immunity thing with this, which honestly is decent and it's worthy of B tier. But actually on global, nah, since we're talking global, it's C tier because we don't have any really good DLTs at the moment. But in the future, it's gonna be like a B or A. But as of right now, not really that good, right? There's a use for it, but not right now. Technically, is how I see it. And then the wells kind of sucks. Thank God, because if it was good, that would have been bad. Basically, when she's attacked, she has a barrier of 5 to 10% of the damage taken. It's only a chance to get the barrier, so that part sucks. And then what it adds here is a heal depending on 50% of her magic attack. But you already have to have a barrier on to get this healing, and if you're redoing it every 2 turns, then it just doesn't make sense for you to get the healing too often. So I really do think this is like a C tier skill page, which is kind of wild to me that it's possible to put the wells in there when she's that good, but whatever. Then Veto. Veto is, his is not that good because he's not that good essentially. It applies a barrier when he has lifesteal when he heals, but it's not really that good. Barrier is decent, but not really that crazy. And then it does have a chance to extend debuffs, but not really, to me again, that crazy. Then Yuno's, we actually know it's fine. Yuno is not going to be there, so we're not going to touch Yuno. We're going to put Raya. Why Raya's is like kind of bad is that accuracy, you don't really want it on this, and also it's because of how dependent it is on buffs, where if you have at least 3 buffs, then you gain the accuracy buff. Not really that good. Removing 2 buffs also not really that good. It's decent, the removing buffs part, but that's kind of it. That's kind of it. Jax. Jax has a chance to increase damage on skill 1. Usually skill 1 is not the one you want to increase damage on, which is why it's so low, and it's a chance, so you know, that's another part. Now this one's a mini version of the season 5 Noel Halloween, which is why I think they probably use this as a prototype. Also, they're both Silvas, so it makes sense. Where when you take damage, you have a 20 up to 40% chance to reduce special points of the attacker. Now the wells is everyone, and it goes up to 100% chance, so you know, a lot better. Then Klaus, pretty sure this one's defense, damage resistance, but damage res is also pretty decent. So yeah, that makes the whole tier list. We're basically done with that. These are most of the units that are coming out after, but we also got the season 6, so 4 more units here technically. And yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think of this skill page tier list. Damn, 23 minutes, that's insane. I know I know we talked about skill pages, but still making it in 23 minutes, like, feels quite long.